Dzień dobry Państwu, minus 15 stopni, dopływamy do Helsinek. Uszy łopoczą mi na wietrze, na szczęście są to tylko uszy czapki. Największym minusem tego wszystkiego nie jest temperatura, drodzy Państwo, ale jest to, że ja na tej dłoni, no nie będę ściągał rękawiczki, bo jednak jest zimno, napisałem sobie długopisem, żeby nie zapomnieć imię brata głównego bohatera tejże serii, Anttiego Tuomainena, czyli Czynnik Królika i Paradoks Łosia. Przepraszam, że tutaj tak buja, no ale wieje, statek przemierza, rozbija lód, więc tutaj są różne, o proszę zobaczyć, historie się dzieją na tym statku. I co ja mam Wam jeszcze powiedzieć? Henry Koskinen to główny bohater tej serii. Pracował w ubezpieczeniach, życie potoczyło się jednak tak, jak się potoczyło i wydaje się, że odziedziczył po bracie park rozrywki. Mówię, wydaje się, bo skoro odziedziczył, to ten brat no po prostu zmienił miejsce zamieszkania na takie, z którego się nie wraca. Nawet Henry był na jego pogrzebie. Oczywiście zapomniałem imienia tego brata tutaj, mówiąc do Was. Ono jest tutaj. Dobra, niech stracę. Juhani chyba, ale teraz nie założę tej rękawiczki, jest strasznie zimno. W każdym razie chodzi o to, że spotkam się za chwilę z Antti Tuomainenem, porozmawiamy o jego książkach, o tej serii wesoło miasteczkowej, tak bym to powiedział, chociaż nie zawsze jest tam wesoło. A teraz, no przepraszam, idę do kajuty, bo jednak zimno, a w rękę też jest zimno. I would like to ask you, first of all, what is the Finnish sense of humor? It is the same like everywhere in the world, or is something special in your opinion?
What a good question. First of all, I can't, of course, say like what it is exactly. I can only compare it to something. So I suppose I would compare it to something, at least partly. It's two things, I think. One is strange, and one is this very dark sense of humor. And what I've noticed, strangely, is that there are a lot of similarities to the humor in, say, in the UK. I go there a lot. I have published books there, and I've done well there with my books. And there's this same kind of humor. If you think of, the deadpan way and the very serious humor in the UK, the English humor. And then also you think of the strangeness of, say, Monty Python. So you have these two things that are coming together, and I think there's a lot of similarities in Finnish humor. I don't know if this answers the question. I can only compare it to something that, some people might know, because obviously people don't know much about Finland, let alone the humor here.
Henry Koskinen is the main character of your new series. Who is he? Who is he for you?
Well, first of all, Henry Koskinen is an insurance mathematician. And the way he looks at the world is always through mathematics. He's a man who believes in logic in rationality, in probabilities. And so he's a man who calculates everything. But as we know about life and the world, you can't calculate your way through everything because life is very messy. Life is unpredictable. Anything can happen and does happen. And so Henri Koskinen, to me, was this sort of an idea of a person who believes in something and then crashes into the world as we know it. And sort of, and I really sympathize with him. I mean, he's trying to, I mean, because of his past and because of his life experiences, he's trying to make sense of the world. And this is his way of trying to live in this complicated world that we live in. It's just that it leads into problems, of course.
What is his relationship with his brother? Because it's very difficult relationship. Henry is looking very far on their business, and his brother Ioanni wants everything right now.
Yes, and those are actually the two characteristics that are in all of us. We like to achieve things, but we rarely want to go through the trouble of working for them long term. We'd like instant victories and instant gratification and instant rewards. So Juhani is basically one side of that coin and Henry is the other. And I wanted to have them like opposite personalities so they too would clash. But also it was because they have this, they are from a family that had a truly chaotic life. Their parents were dreamers, and chaotic life was just, you know, the result of that, you know, dreamers lifestyle. And so Juhani is trying to make his way in the world in his chaotic way, and Henry is trying to make his way through life with rationality and logic. So they're, you know, opposing forces, and that's always funny.
For me, the Moose Paradox is the unserious story about very serious things.
Thank you for saying that. It is. And the rabbit factor also is, for me, it's I hope it's like darkly funny when you read it, but at heart, I think it's a very serious book. And the whole trilogy, the Beaver Theory is the last book in the trilogy, and the whole series, the trilogy, is really a story about a lonely man becoming part of something bigger, becoming a family member even. And so it's a very serious story in that way. And I appreciate you saying that, because they are, like I said, these characteristics that these brothers have are in all of us. And so it you know, it is a serious theme, and it's a big theme. And I'm glad you noticed that. Thank you.
Were you afraid about copy yourself in Moose Paradox after writing this book, or no?
What a good question. Actually, what I've done in my writing career, if I call it that, is write a different book every time. And this trilogy is the first time I wrote 10 books without, you know, like going into series and doing any kind of sequels or anything. And this was my very first experiment and experience in writing something that goes on. So there was a huge challenge for me to sort of figure out how much stuff, you know, continues, how much do I leave out, how much do I, so a learning experience, I have to say.
I have to ask you about the beaver theory.
Yes.
What will be inside? Because we are still waiting for this book. The Moose Paradox will be published in 2 months in Poland. So we are waiting for the third one.
Yes. The beaver theory is, well, it ends the trilogy. And I hope I'm not giving away any secrets or spoilers or anything, but there is a happy ending to all of this.
Nice. Because I'm afraid of Henry.
Yes. But he really, I think, deserved a happy ending, and he deserved something, a reward for his efforts, because he's growing a lot. He's learning new things about love, about being with people, being part of a community, because that's what it is, being at a workplace. He used to be this lonely mathematician, just counting away days and days alone. Now he's part of a work environment where he's, you know, like learning new things about how to cope with very, very different people that he is, but also it's a story about change.
A tutaj diabelski młyn, czyli rzecz związana z parkami rozrywki, a przecież park rozrywki odgrywa bardzo ważną rolę, już z tego mrozu mi się aparat mowy zaklinował. Park rozrywki odgrywa bardzo ważną rolę w tej serii Anttiego. Jeszcze chciałbym na koniec podziękować Szymonowi Wołkowiczowi z firmy patrzcie, ale to jest ten mróz, jeszcze raz. Szymonowi Wołkowiczowi z firmy Holiday Tour. Jeżeli wybierają się Państwo gdzieś na koniec świata i potrzebujecie biletu na prom, samolot, statek kosmiczny, okręt podwodny, na cokolwiek, jeżeli chcecie spać w szałasie, hotelu, na drzewie, pan Szymon załatwi wszystko, czego dowodem jest to, że przypłynąłem tutaj ze Sztokholmu. Dziękuję Państwu. Pa!